Hello everyone, I'm Santiago and today I'm gonna be testing Shenmue 3 on the GTX 1660 Ti. To skip to any of the resolutions tested, check the timestamps down in the description, and thanks to the publisher for providing a copy of the game. So on this card I'll show you 4 resolutions, first 1080p, then 1440p, 1800p and finally 4K. On 1080p and 1440p was pretty easy to get 60 frames, just use the maximum settings and play the game. Nothing hard to do on that front, but then on 1800p, in order to be close to 60 frames, you might want to target medium settings or something like that. Then with maximum settings you're over 30 just fine. Same goes for 4K in that case. By going for the highest settings you're over 30 frames per second just fine. But unfortunately at 4K for 60 frames you cannot even get there using low settings. So my recommendation here, if you want the best visuals possible, is 4K using the highest settings. And if you want a few extra frames, lower to 1800p, and that'll be about it. So in the options menu we don't get much. I'm pretty disappointed about that on a Unreal Engine 4 game. They usually have post-processing, shadows, and many other options for you to choose from. On this one you can only choose between presets, VSync on or off, and the resolution on a limited list. So in the presets you got low, medium, high or very high. Between high and very high the performance difference is very small, 2 or 3 frames per second. I would use this if on very high you get 30 frames per second and you want to be at 32 or something like that. Then when you go to medium there's a very significant performance difference, but there's less foliage, less detailed shadows, the draw distance isn't as good, but again you get a noticeable FPS boost. And finally, if you go to low, which I do not recommend in this case, pretty much all the foliage is removed, there's worse draw distances, and the post-processing effects are almost all of them gone. So my advice here is to use medium setting if on high or very high you're not getting the performance that you want. Then on the resolution options, you got options for Windows resolutions, borderless full screen, or full screen options. In the full screen options I couldn't find 900p or 1800p for example. I only found 720p, 1080p, 1440p and 4K. So if you want to use for example 1800p or 900p, my recommendation is to set your Windows resolution on your screen to 900p or 1800p and then inside the game use borderless full screen. That will render the game at the resolution that you chose on your desktop. Considering how this game is, I don't really think that 60 frames per second is absolutely necessary. The fighting didn't seem very responsive, there's a lot of dialogue and cinematics going on, but if your PC is good enough you can go for it. For the testing I ran around one of the first areas of the game, so I went through a lot of places with tons of foliage. Then once I get into the small village, you'll see a noticeable performance hit, especially in the main square, and that was pretty much my test. I don't know how the city areas run, but once I get there I'll update the description to let you know if there's a huge difference. On the CPU side I didn't see much of a problem. There are some stutters every now and then when you get to the villages, but it doesn't seem to be CPU related. So a quad-core CPU should be more than enough to handle this game at 60 frames per second. But anyway guys, that's about it. I hope you keep enjoying the video, thanks for watching and see you next time.
I should talk to more people around here. Maybe I'll talk to a few folks around here. Let's have a look around here first.